So a couple exciting things in the core lineup. One very easy thing to explain, the piezo equipped guitars have kind of just changed in name. There's no longer a P22, P24, but you can get the custom 22 with a piezo option. It's pretty much the same guitar, but it's just instead of having a different name, the P22, it's a custom 22 piezo. On the opposite end, though, the hollow body, and the hollow body 2, which has been around for quite some time, it always has come standard with the piezo bridge, which also gives you all the extra switching and all that stuff. If you're not going to use that, or if you're somebody looking for more of a traditional, just 2 pickup hollow body guitar, now you can actually order, like we see right here, the hollow body without the piezo. The bridge is going to sound a little different. If you notice, it's got brass saddles instead of the saddles that you would have in the piezo bridge, but just a cleaner look. If you're not going to use the acoustic output, plus it's a little less expensive because you don't have the addition of that. So if you're a hollow body fan and have no need for the acoustic pickup, you have an option now. The McCarty 594, which came out since the last NAMM, it was originally released as a Guitar of the Month in the private stock line, and it was so well received they added it a few months later as a core instrument. So the 594 refers to the scale length of the guitar. It's 24.594 inches. It's got the 2-piece bridge, more traditional 4-knob layout, toggle switch up here where you would be familiar if you're, that, but it has the McCarty, PRS McCarty body shape with all that extra access up the neck. And so this guitar, this was the guitar that was kind of the launch of John Mayer and Paul's relationship when they were working on a bunch of stuff. Paul sent him a prototype of this, and John, was, screaming it from the mountaintop, saying, "This is by far the best new guitar I've ever played in my life." And it has all the vibe and heart and soul of a vintage instrument, but like with a modern playability. And so John absolutely loved this guitar. A lot of the fans of it were asking for a single cut option. Somebody who wanted this tone, but in a more traditional single cut body. So now, for 2017, we have a McCarty 594 single cut. So all the great aspects of that in a single cut form. So absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite models for sure. I have a hard time picking between, like if you're a fan of the PRS double cut body, I really like that extra, access up on the higher part of the neck, but gorgeous guitars. They just sound like $1 million. They both have the 5815 LT pickups, which stands for low turn, slightly lower output pickup than the standard 5815s. John Mayer in his Super Eagle has the 5815 JM pickups. They are somewhere in between the two in output. They're a little higher output than these and a little lower output than the regular 5815s. And I have a model, a McCarty single cut like this. I had the 5815s in it. They switched and put these in. So I've been able to A/B these pickups, the 2 different versions in the same guitar. And the difference is remarkable. I mean, they both sound amazing. It's just 2 different voices. Like these are really, like they just have a single coil clarity to them, but still really round and warm. My favorite humbucking pickups, really. All of the 5815 line, just I can't say enough about how much I love playing them. And that's a guy coming from, I've been a single coil player most of my life. Like 90% single coil with a little bit of humbucker, and ever since these have come out,
this right humbucker for that, chimey stuff.
Yeah. So these have really kind of became my number one pickups. Here in the corner, this blue guitar is the 509.
That one?
Yeah. So the 509 is kind of a marriage of 2 former models. It's the 513 and the 408. So obviously it has the look of the 513 pickups, same heel and neck profile of the 513. It also has the longer scale, the 25.25 inch scale that the 513 had. So the 513 had 2 blade switches, one for a pickup and one as coil, separating from a single coil to double coil. And then the third position there gave you extra windings in the humbucker and gave you kind of a high output humbucker. And it really felt like most people were not using that sound. They were using the more vintage output humbucker and the single coil sounds. And a lot of people really liked the switching on the 408, the little mini toggle switching. So now what we get is a standard 5-way, but we can also now split these from either a single coil or a double coil independently. So I can do a single coil bridge, neck humbucker, or vice versa, which we could not do on the 513. So it's great vintage humbucker sounds, killer single coil sounds, and very balanced between them. You can go from the single coil to humbucker, and there's very little volume difference. For a single coil player looking for humbucker options, or vice versa, it's gets a lot of classic sounds, but also a lot of things really unique to this guitar. So this is brand new to this NAMM. We've got, it's not a new guitar, but it's new to the core line. The Santana Retro used to only be able to get as a private stock. It is now released as a core model, so it's a lot easier to get and more affordable. What the Santana Retro is even though it still has the same new pickups he's using, it has a 5815 in the bridge, and it has the Santana bass pickup, but it's the same body carve and heel design of the original pre-factory guitars that Paul built for Carlos. That was what Carlos originally fell in love with. It made him, the devout PRS, fan that he's been. So it's kind of a nice throwback to the original pre-factory body style that became the Santana model. So now you can get that in the core model too. So that's a nice addition.